morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Miriam Enriquez. I'm the Director of the Office of Immigrant Affairs for the City of Philadelphia, and I want to welcome you all to today's press conference as we celebrate the 5th anniversary of the implementation of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival program, better known to all of us as DACA. There are nearly 800,000 DACA recipients throughout this country. These young men and women know the United States as their home, and they want all the same things that everyone else wants: to live peacefully, to provide for their families, and to fulfill their dreams. On June 29th, 10 state attorney generals and the governor of Idaho, led by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, threatened to sue the Trump administration if it does not eliminate DACA. In response, our mayor, along with over 100 other mayors and county officials, sent a letter to the president urging him to continue the DACA program. This is because our mayor knows, as well as all of us Philadelphians, that DACA program is a great program, and it's not just about having heart, but it's about smart policy. So without further ado, please help me in welcoming the Mayor of Philadelphia, Jim Kenney.
Thank you, Miriam, and good morning. It's a pleasure to see so many of you here this morning celebrating and supporting this very important program. Those who have benefited from the DACA program came here with their parents, searching for a better life and more opportunities. They escaped often violence, natural disasters, and hunger. The young beneficiaries of the DACA program have provided inspiration in their pursuit of the American dream, which is the compelling story of all immigrants to our country. We must acknowledge that when we fully incorporate and integrate hardworking immigrants in our country, then the country only stands to benefit. These are individuals that strengthen our country through their resiliency. They bring fresh ideas that contribute to our economy. Ending the DACA program is not only cruel, it is detrimental to the health of our nation and inherently un-American. To our DACA recipients that are here with us today, we respect you. We love you, and don't let anyone ever tell you that you're not a Philadelphian or you're not an American and that you do not belong here. You can clap for that. I read a piece today in I think it was in the New York Times, I'm not sure, somebody sent me a clip that said that on average 7 years for a refugee to become fully self-sufficient, tax-paying, contributing member of society. God approves. So I just want you to understand that no matter all the noise that we're hearing, I mean, and obviously the noise we've been hearing over the weekend is noise about neo-Nazis and white supremacists and murder and mayhem, and that's obviously un-American, extremely un-American, and there's no rationalization, there's no way you can give it any harbor or any good words at all. It's all bad stuff. And the president finally, begrudgingly, 48 hours later, half-heartedly did what he was supposed to have done on Saturday, and that's fine, because I think we're actually beyond him now. I think we're beyond his rhetoric, we're beyond his anger and hatred, and I think that when you see top CEOs at Merck and other places resigning boards in Washington because of the outrage of what happened over the weekend and the president's complete either lack of understanding or knowledge or agreement with the folks who committed those murders and mayhem. It's the same thing. It transfers to the same thing when it comes to immigration. It's ugliness, it's misinformation, it's anger, it's stirring up people's fears against other people, and it's fostering and fomenting and throwing gasoline on the fears that exist. That is not what a president should do. That's not what government should do. And as long as we have a breath in our bodies here in Philadelphia, we will continue to support you, your families, and those of you who come after you, because immigration is not going to stop just because Donald Trump's president for a hot minute. So please remember that we have your back, that we care about you, that you're part of our family, and that you're part of our Philadelphia family, and we will never look at you any differently. So God bless you, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I want to introduce Carlos Gonzalez, who works for the Pennsylvania Immigration and Citizenship Coalition, otherwise known as PIC, who have been an incredible partner of both the city and the Office of Immigrant Affairs. Just so you know, this celebration and this press conference right now is part of a grander celebration going on throughout the country. Different cities throughout the country are having similar events to celebrate the implementation of DACA, to talk about the importance of the program, and to talk and to urge the administration to continue the program for all of the DACA recipients. So at this time, please help me in welcoming Carlos Gonzalez.
Thank you, Miriam. Like she said, my name is Carlos Adolfo Gonzalez, and I am the Capacity Building Coordinator with the Pennsylvania Immigration and Citizenship Coalition. With over 52 member organizations across the state, we are the largest coalition advocating for the rights of immigrants and refugees in the Commonwealth. So on this day, 5 years ago, DACA brought stability and security to lives previously marked by insecurity and fear. Nearly 5,900 young Pennsylvanians have benefited from DACA, including me. Today we will hear how DACA has impacted the lives of Prudence, Amaya, Riri, and Olivia. And in addition to temporarily lifting the fear of deportation, DACA has enabled us to apply for driver's licenses, to continue our education, to get higher paying jobs that we use to, in many cases, support our families and help our families gain a better quality of life. And in many cases, to start businesses. Ending DACA will cost Pennsylvania more than $350 million in annual GDP losses. And while it is important to recognize the economic impact of DACA, I think it's more important to humanize the statistics. And that's why today we're showing the film We Are DACA, highlighting the stories of 5 young Pennsylvanians speaking about their hopes for the future shortly after the announcement of the program in 2012. And without further ado, these are their stories.
My name is Feli Valencia. I was born in Indonesia. I'm 19 years old now. I came to the United States when I was 9. I graduated as the valedictorian in my high school, and I had the opportunity to attend college for 1 semester. I was on a scholarship. My mom is disabled. Because of that, I had to withdraw from school and go to work full-time to send money back home.
My name is Jorge Salazar. I am originally from La Paz, Bolivia. I am currently enrolled at Community College of Philadelphia. I came to the United States when I was 7 years old, alongside my parents and my 8-month-old sister, Pamela.
My name is Prudence Powell, 29 years old, living in North Philadelphia. I was born and raised in Jamaica. When I was 12 years old, my aunt sent for me to come to the States.
Hi, my name is Dan Nemec. I'm 22 years old, and I came to America at the age of 8 from the Czech Republic in hopes to have a better future and more opportunities in life. I am currently enrolled in a GED program and work in landscape and construction.
My name is Maria Jose Sotomayor. I came to the United States when I was 9 years old. I am currently a senior in college, graduating May 2013 with a psychology degree.
So one day my counselor called me down, and then I told him my concern, social security number. It was my first time telling someone that I was undocumented, and I really cried. So I became really depressed and hopeless. I do have dreams. I do want to become a somebody.
I remember that very moment as I came to my parents. I asked them if they could tell me my social security number. That very second, when the words came out of my mouth, my world crumbled. There were a lot of tears. I remember going to my counselor for advice, but my counselor was shocked at my story and yelled out, "Oh no, you're illegal." I became engulfed in anger towards the world. My grades dropped and I became a horribly disrespectful person. But then I thought, what about my sister? Soon she'll have to go through this pain, and I can't let this same darkness that surrounds me infect her. I managed to get my grades back up, and I managed to crawl, and to graduate from George Washington Carver High School of Engineering and Science.
The moment I realized that I was undocumented, I was about 13 or 14 years old in middle school. They was asking for papers I didn't have, and my aunt was putting them off and coming up with stories why she didn't have them. That really made me feel out of place and depressed. I really didn't know what it meant to be illegal. Once I got older, I realized what it really meant. I started acting out in school because I didn't see the point of learning anymore. I just wanted to give up.
All I wanted to do is get my driver's license just like any other 16-year-old, and that is when I found out I was an illegal immigrant. I lost all motivation due to the fact that I could not get a job even if I had a good education, so I dropped out of high school. I was always afraid to discuss my status with my friends, fearing I would be labeled and it would change our relationship, so I never told anyone.
The first time I realized being undocumented was an obstacle was when my mother took my sister and I to enroll in school over the summer. Because of our status, they told us we couldn't attend any public school. I felt very upset and ashamed. I still remember walking out of that office, looking at the ground, and my mother holding back the tears of anger and helplessness.
It gives me a sense of hope, something to hold on for tomorrow.
I remember coming home that day, thinking this was all a dream. Moments later, my mom came in the door, and finding me in tears, she began to worry. We were going to get deported, or I was in trouble. I came rushing to her to calm her down and to assure her it was good news. But as I hugged her, it became painfully clear this isn't over. She was still not safe, and many of my friends would not meet the requirements. I felt guilty that this was happening for me, but not for others.
Thank God there is hope for me after all. That's when I enrolled into Temple GED program to finish up my education.
Now that DACA is available, I've been talking to friends about it, and to be honest, it has been a big burden lifted off my shoulders. Now I know growing up I was not the only person who was illegal, and there were people I could share my experiences with.
The first person I called was my grandmother. Not being able to speak, I broke down, crying tears of happiness, saying, "Abuelita, I can finally work so I can help my parents. My sister and I can complete our education and get a job other than at a pizza shop. This is the happiest day of my life." My sister and I sat on the couch holding hands, crying, and we kept saying with scenarios of where we will work, finish school, being able to have a driver's license, and even going back to visit our family.
I see myself 5 years from now graduating college, and I'm planning to major in immigration law. The parents are so scared that their kids might get caught and might get dragged to the Homeland Security because of being undocumented. In the end, no one ever heard their story.
I began working at a lumber yard, so when the time came for my sister to enter college, she would be better prepared. I began to save money for her tuition. I know that if I could make a difference, it would be for her. In 2011, my sister graduated from Temple University. To me, learning quenches my thirst. My dream is to finish college and become an engineer.
With this newfound hope, I can have a better future for my 2 children, and I can finally get off public assistance and provide a better home for them. I can finally work and get a driver's license, and I can also further my education in the nursing field.
Now I can plan for my future. I hope to acquire a college education and to get a decent job that I can turn into a career. Either I can build my own construction company, or even possibly work for the U.S. Navy and become a high-ranking officer.
I want to make sure no child ever feels the same way I did that day. I want to be a counselor and work in the school system. Nobody should be prohibited of attaining their education because education is the most important gift we have.
Immigration reform is not only meant for younger generation. Our parents deserve immigration reform too.
Whenever time permits, I give my time to immigrant rights organizations with the hope that someday things will change. Hopefully people will realize the sacrifice our parents make for us.
What I would like to say to any legislator making decisions about reforming the immigration system would be to give us a chance. We just want to be successful and contribute to this country.
So the video highlights the stories of the people's hopes after the program was announced. And now I'm happy to introduce my great coworker at PIC, Prudence, who's gonna give us a little update of what her life has been like 5 years later.
Good morning, everyone. So a little update. In 2012, I learned about DACA, and that's when I first learned about it, and I applied and finished my GED in Temple in 2013. And of February 2014, my DACA was approved, and immediately I started looking for a job. Immediately, so I could be able to provide for my family, my 2 children who are here with me today, and this DACA has opened up so many doors for me. And I'm just so grateful. My jobs, like I said, my job search began immediately after I found out I received my work permit. And I can finally take control of my future and provide better for my family. I'm so happy I'm able to work with an organization that I'm passionate about, and I can learn new skills and be able to help people like myself. We don't often see Caribbean people in the immigration fight. It's usually Latinos, but I'm here to stand with all Caribbean, all brown and black to let us know we're not alone in this fight. And if we come together, we all can defeat this issue that we have going on. And most importantly, I no longer fear what can happen. DACA is once again under threat and have made a progress under DACA, so I would not want to see it go backwards, and above all, fear for my children, because now I can be able to provide for them. So I just want to say, let us continue to fight to protect DACA, protect TPA, and keep the fight going. My son is going to come up and say a few words, if you don't mind.
Good morning. My name is Jalen Latimer. I'm an American citizen, and I just want to talk to y'all about the fear and the lots of thought I have about this. When my mom first got DACA, things was going good for the family. She was able to provide more for us, me and my sister, and like she said, she didn't have to really fear about being taken away. And if it is taken away, and she is taken away from us, I don't really know what's going to be there for us after she's gone. I don't want to see DACA being taken away and see my mom gone from me. I don't really know what else to say.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amaya Pavon. I'm from Mexico. I have come here 17 years ago. I have crossed the border through the Arizona state. I came here as an undocumented person. I have come here with my 2 younger sisters and my 65-year-old grandmother. it was an adventure for me as a child, but now remembering, I can see that there were many very dangerous things while crossing the border, which I didn't see back then, but now I realize that it was very dangerous to cross. But the only thing that I wanted to do was to hug my mom. I haven't seen my mom in 1 year, so for me, the only thing I wanted was to get to PA and finally get to see my mom again. After many weeks being in Arizona, we finally got the chance to came to PA and meet my mom. That was like the happiest moment ever. And that's when I realized that my whole world had changed. I was in a new country, new language, new people. So I knew I had to go through many struggles in order for me to overcome all the goals that I wanted it to. I was enrolled in high school, and when I was in 12th grade, that's when I realized that the problem of not having papers or not having a social security number. All the people were talking about was college applications and graduation, and when I went to talk to an advisor, he told me you cannot apply because you don't have a social security number. So that really made me feel sad, but I didn't give up, so I tried with another advisor, which they told me the same, that I couldn't because I didn't have a social security number. But even though they told me I couldn't apply for universities, I basically didn't listen to them, so I still fill up applications, and finally I got the chance to be accepted at the Temple University, which, you know, it's a dream for me. I was happy when I received the letter that I got accepted. Having DACA had changed my life because usually before DACA I used to work in restaurants as a cook or cleaning offices, and because of not having a social security number, I didn't really feel that I was going to have a better job than that. Finally, when I got DACA, I got the chance to get a job in the medical field, and I'm still going to school, and hopefully I can graduate soon. So it's been a challenge. I have learned a new language. I have meet new people, and I'm still in the fight. Even though I have DACA, I will still continue not only for my community, but also for my family and for all those people affected by this situation. Thank you.
Okay, now we have Riri. Come on.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reedy Ben Palmer, and I'm a 17-year-old DACA recipient. I'll be attending Cabrini University as a freshman with very high dreams. When I reached the age of 5, I was suddenly picked up by my mother's warm arms, and in front of me stood heavy bags and relatives crying their heart out. Behind me stood my beautiful home with locked doors. That was the most difficult memory. My family had to leave India to arrive at an unknown country. They left everything for me to have a brighter future. Their sacrifice motivated me to strive to the clouds and do my very best. When I started school, I didn't know a single word of English. My family and me went through difficult times adjusting to our new lives. In high school, I realized there were endless obstacles stopping me. I still remember my very first heartbreak. I got accepted to do an internship at a local hospital, my very dream workplace. But a week later, I was rejected harshly because I didn't have a social security number. I didn't know that digits were worth way more than my passion. All I wanted to do was follow my passion and give back to the community that supported me. I cannot forget the day DACA was introduced. I will consider it the happiest moment of my life. I cried from happiness because this meant I could go to medical school, drive a car, travel, and give back to the community. And most importantly, support myself. I envisioned being a doctor who doesn't only give medicine, but happiness as well. We all know being a DACA student and applying for college is extremely difficult. We are not provided any state or federal aid, which still breaks my heart. because we are also deserving students just like any others. This honestly stops many students from pursuing their education. Imagining my life without DACA is like shattering all my stars. When I saw who was our president, my body was filled with fear because I wondered what would happen to us. Without DACA, I can't attend medical school, I can't drive, I can't work and help my family. I have seen my friends without DACA give up on their life, and it's just so heartbreaking. DACA allows us to shine. I want to ask of everyone to give a hug to the person sitting next to you. While doing this, know that no government, no human being, or any society can stop us from following our dreams. We came this far already. We are all united in hard times. We have to give back to our families who left everything for us. We're all dreamers, and we will make our dreams into daylight reality. Thank you very much for this honor, and don't forget never to give up. Thank you so much.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Olivia Vasquez. I'm the community organizer at Juntos, as well as a DACA recipient. I came from Mexico when I was 10 years old to join my mother here in Philadelphia. I first want to start by saying that I am proud to be here with so many amazing immigrant leaders, with the young people who made DACA a reality with the direct actions back in 2012. The immigrant community in Philadelphia who led us to ending the ICE holds, as well as Mayor Kenny, who has been a vital ally in making this policy happen. All of these are examples of how standing up and fighting back are the best defense we have against oppression. I applied for DACA 3 years ago, and what it has done for me is that it makes me no longer look over my shoulder, worry that I might be deported one day. But I still worry. I worry about my family, about my mom, my uncle, my community, the people who I love, who sometimes get lost in the conversation. Most who have never had the opportunity to rest because they're always at risk. As people of color, I worry because what Charlottesville, Virginia showed us is that racism is alive in 2017. And we are all at risk of losing what's most important to us. Today is 5 years that DACA has been in effect, and I urge us to defend it because we fought so hard to get it. But we cannot stop there. We must protect all of our community. ICE is a rogue agency, an agency that has been taken off its leash by the current administration to do whatever it takes to boost the numbers of people they detain and deport, with no regard of their human rights. An agency whose leader has said that no population is off the table. When it comes to deportation, an agency who has used unconstitutional practices like illegal car stops and fingerprint machines to terrorize us. This is why we must hold ICE accountable. We must call for a congressional investigation on ICE today. Many people call us dreamers, the young people who dream of a better future despite of the odds stacked against us. But we cannot forget who are the real dreamers, and that is our parents. They wanted nothing more but to give us an opportunity of something better than they had. They are also dreamers. So if you're here today to defend the dreamers and to defend DACA, I ask you to defend all of us by stopping ICE and their rogue tactics. Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. I would actually like to ask everyone who spoke come back. Plus, I know there's a few documented folks who decided not to speak today but are sitting in the audience quietly. Can you all come up here? No, come on. I'm going to start calling you out by name if you don't. Olivia, Carlos, Maria, come on. All of the folks who didn't want to talk today. So my name is Sundrop Carter. I'm the executive director of PIC. And I feel like in today's world, it is very easy to look around and lose hope. You know, Olivia brought up this weekend, we saw the ugliest pieces of society in Charlottesville. And instead of hearing wholesale condemnation from those in power, we heard silence and support for those racist, ugly views. And so for those of us who work in the immigrant rights movement, I think it's sometimes hard to keep the faith and keep going. And for me, what has kept me going are the people standing up here. Because every day I work with folks like Maria, who has decided to take pictures instead of come up and stand up here, Carlos and Prudence and Olivia and Reedy and everyone else. And we would not see the progress we have on immigration reform or DACA or Black Lives Matter or any of these social movements if it weren't for the young people who are standing up here at the front of the room. So I just want to give everyone another round of applause for not just your bravery, but your work.